Right now, as you're watching this video, you're sending dozens of subtle signals that are either making women more attracted to you or completely killing any chance you have with them. And here's the brutal truth most men refuse to face. 93% of all communication is non-verbal. That means, while you're focused on what you're saying, women are reading an entirely different language. The language your body speaks without your permission. What I'm about to share with you isn't some pick-up artist nonsense or feel-good motivation. This is based on decades of psychological research, evolutionary biology, and field-tested strategies that separate the men who naturally attract women from those who wonder why they're always stuck in the friend zone. By the end of this video, you'll understand the invisible forces that have been sabotaging your success with women. And more importantly, you'll know exactly how to rewire your non-verbal communication to project the kind of magnetic confidence that makes women notice you before you even speak. The shocking reality is that most men are trapped in what I call the body language prison, a self-reinforcing cycle where their insecurities create weak body language, which leads to rejection, which deepens their insecurities, creating even weaker body language. It's a vicious cycle that keeps good men single while less deserving guys walk away with the women they want. But once you understand the science behind attraction and master these principles, you'll never have to wonder again whether a woman is interested or how to make her feel that spark of attraction. Let me start with something that might shock you. Amy Cuddy's groundbreaking research at Harvard revealed that changing your posture for just 2 minutes can increase your testosterone by 20% and decrease your stress hormone cortisol by 25%. This isn't just about looking confident, you're literally changing your brain chemistry. When you adopt what she calls power poses, you're not just appearing more attractive to women, you're actually becoming more confident at a biological level. But here's where most men get it wrong. They think confidence is about puffing out their chest and taking up space. That's amateur hour. Real confidence, the kind that makes women feel safe, intrigued, and attracted, is about controlled presence. It's about being completely comfortable in your own skin while remaining aware of your environment and the people in it. Robert Greene, in his masterwork, The Art of Seduction, identifies what he calls the anti-seductive qualities that instantly repel women. At the top of that list is insecurity displayed through body language. Greene observed that insecure men telegraph their neediness through what he terms micro-behaviors, tiny gestures and postures that scream desperation to anyone paying attention. The fidgeting, the slouching, the inability to maintain eye contact, the nervous energy that makes women instinctively want to create distance. Think about the last time you were in a social situation where you felt nervous around an attractive woman. Your shoulders probably hunched slightly forward, your breathing became shallow, maybe you started touching your face or playing with your phone. These aren't character flaws, they're evolutionary responses designed to make you appear smaller and less threatening when you perceive yourself as lower status. The problem is, in the modern dating landscape, these same responses that once kept our ancestors alive now kill attraction before it has a chance to develop. David D'Angelo's research into attraction psychology reveals that women are biologically programmed to notice signs of genetic fitness and social dominance within seconds of meeting a man. Your posture alone communicates more about your status, health, and confidence than anything you could say in the first 5 minutes of conversation. A man who stands tall with his shoulders back and head level isn't just appearing confident. He's demonstrating that he's comfortable being seen, that he belongs wherever he is, and that he doesn't need anyone's approval to feel good about himself. The neuroscience behind this is fascinating. When women observe confident body language, it triggers what Dr. Helen Fisher calls the attraction system in their brains. This system floods their neurons with dopamine, norepinephrine, and phenylethylamine, the same chemicals associated with excitement, focus, and euphoria. Essentially, your body language can literally make women feel good just by being around you. But the reverse is equally true. Insecure body language triggers the brain's threat detection system, making women feel uncomfortable without even knowing why. Let's talk about eye contact, because this is where most men either completely fail or overcompensate into creepy territory. Real eye contact isn't about staring someone down or trying to assert dominance through intensity. It's about being genuinely present and unashamed of your interest. When you make eye contact with a woman, you're communicating several powerful messages simultaneously. You're confident enough to be seen, you're interested enough to be present, and you're secure enough to handle whatever response you might receive. The research of Dr. Arthur Aaron on interpersonal attraction found that sustained eye contact triggers the release of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. This is the same chemical released during physical touch and intimate conversation. Just by mastering the art of comfortable, genuine eye contact, you're creating the biochemical foundation for attraction and connection. But here's the crucial distinction. This only works when your eye contact comes from a place of genuine confidence, rather than nervous intensity or rehearsed technique. Most men approach eye contact like it's a battle to be won, rather than a conversation to be enjoyed. They either avoid it completely, which signals insecurity and disinterest, or they force it in a way that feels aggressive and uncomfortable. The sweet spot is what I call relaxed intensity. You're fully present and engaged, but you're not trying to prove anything or force an outcome. You're simply comfortable being seen and equally comfortable seeing her. Now let's address one of the biggest body language mistakes men make: taking up space versus commanding space. There's a crucial difference that most guys never learn. Taking up space is about physical expansion, spreading your legs wide, putting your arms on the backs of chairs, leaning back aggressively. This often comes across as compensation or trying too hard. Commanding space is about presence and intention. It's about moving with purpose, standing with stability, and occupying your environment like you belong there naturally. When you command space effectively, you're not trying to dominate or intimidate. You're simply comfortable being exactly where you are, doing exactly what you're doing. This creates what psychologists call behavioral congruence. Your inner state matches your outer expression, and people can sense this authenticity at a subconscious level. Women are especially attuned to this because evolutionary psychology suggests they developed heightened abilities to read social cues as a survival mechanism. The work of Dr. Albert Mehrabian on communication shows us that 55% of all communication comes from body language, 38% from tone of voice, and only 7% from actual words. This means that everything about how you carry yourself, your posture, your gestures, your facial expressions, even how you breathe, is constantly communicating your internal state to everyone around you. When there's a mismatch between what you're saying and what your body is expressing, people always trust the nonverbal signals. This is why you can't fake confidence through body language alone. If you're feeling insecure, but trying to project confidence through posture, the incongruence will be obvious to anyone paying attention. Real confidence has to come from within. But here's the beautiful paradox that researchers like Amy Cuddy discovered: changing your body language can actually change how you feel. Your physiology influences your psychology just as much as your psychology influences your physiology. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. When you're walking into a room where you'll encounter women you want to impress, your natural tendency might be to scan the room nervously, looking for approval, or trying to gauge the social temperature. This scanning behavior immediately communicates that you're seeking validation from your environment rather than bringing value to it. Instead, when you enter a space with calm confidence, you're communicating that you're adding to the energy of the room rather than taking from it. The difference shows up in micro behaviors that most men never notice, but women pick up on immediately. A confident man enters a room with a slight smile, makes casual eye contact with people naturally, and moves to where he wants to be without hesitation or apology. An insecure man enters the same room looking around anxiously, maybe checking his phone to avoid eye contact, and positions himself based on where he thinks he'll be most invisible or acceptable. Dr. Paul Ekman's research on facial expressions reveals that humans can detect micro-expressions that last as little as 1/25th of a second. These fleeting expressions often reveal true emotions before conscious control can mask them. When you're approaching a woman while feeling nervous or insecure, she's unconsciously reading dozens of these micro-signals that tell her exactly how you're feeling, regardless of what you're saying or trying to project. This is why the fake-it-till-you-make-it approach to confidence often backfires. Women have evolved to be incredibly sophisticated at reading authenticity because their ancestors who could accurately assess male confidence and genetic fitness were more likely to survive and reproduce. You can't trick this system with surface-level changes. You have to actually become the confident man you want to appear to be. The breathing pattern is another crucial element that most men completely overlook. When you're nervous or insecure, your breathing becomes shallow and comes from your chest rather than your diaphragm. This creates a cascade of physiological changes that affect everything from your voice quality to your posture to your ability to think clearly. Shallow breathing also affects your facial color and muscle tension in ways that are unconsciously perceived as signs of stress or weakness. Confident men breathe deeply and slowly from their diaphragm. This not only affects how they feel internally, but also how they appear externally. Deep breathing creates better posture naturally, improves voice resonance, and maintains the kind of calm presence that women find attractive. When you're breathing properly, you're literally oxygenating your brain more effectively, which improves your ability to think clearly and respond appropriately in social situations. The research of Dr. Dana Carney on power posing shows that your physical posture directly influences your hormone levels, which in turn affects your behavior and how others perceive you. When you stand in positions of power, shoulders back, chest open, head level, feet planted firmly, your body produces more testosterone and less cortisol. This chemical change doesn't just make you feel more confident, it makes you actually become more confident in measurable ways. But here's a critical point that separates truly attractive men from those who are just going through the motions. Confidence isn't about being the loudest or most dominant person in the room. It's about being completely comfortable with who you are and where you are. This shows up in subtle ways. How you hold silence without feeling the need to fill it, how you listen without planning your next response, how you remain present even when you're not the center of attention. Women are attracted to men who seem secure in their own reality. This means you're not constantly seeking external validation or approval. You're not scanning for reactions to everything you do or say. You're simply living your life with intention and presence, and inviting others to join you in that reality rather than trying to fit into theirs. The concept of frame control, popularized by relationship experts like Zan Perrion, is fundamentally about maintaining your own sense of reality regardless of external circumstances. When you have strong frame control, an insecure handshake reveals itself in multiple ways. Maybe the grip is too weak, suggesting you don't want to impose or take up space. Maybe it's too strong, suggesting you're overcompensating for insecurity. Maybe you avoid eye contact during the handshake, or you rush through it as if you want to get it over with. All of these communicate discomfort with human connection. Personal space management is another crucial skill that most men either completely ignore or get exactly wrong. Confident men understand that attraction often happens in the subtle dance of moving closer and creating space. You're not afraid to be close to someone when the situation calls for it, but you're also not desperately trying to minimize distance because you're afraid they'll lose interest. The key is calibration. You're constantly reading the situation and adjusting accordingly. If someone seems comfortable with your proximity, you can maintain or even slightly decrease the distance. If they seem uncomfortable, you give them more space without making a big deal about it. This kind of social intelligence is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're aware of others while remaining secure in yourself. Mirroring behavior can be powerful when it happens naturally, but it becomes creepy when it's forced or obvious. When you're genuinely engaged with someone, you'll naturally begin to match some of their movements and energy levels. This creates rapport and connection. But when you're consciously trying to mirror someone's behavior, it often comes across as manipulative or desperate. The solution is to focus on genuine engagement rather than technique. When you're truly present with someone and interested in the interaction, natural mirroring will happen automatically. Your body will unconsciously adjust to create harmony with theirs. This kind of authentic connection is far more attractive than any consciously applied technique. Energy levels and emotional state management are perhaps the most important aspects of attractive body language. Your emotional state affects every aspect of your non-verbal communication. Your posture, your breathing, your facial expressions, your movement quality, everything. When you're in a positive emotional state, your body language naturally becomes more attractive. When you're in a negative state, even perfect posture can't completely hide it. This is why the most successful men with women focus as much on their internal game as their external presentation. They understand that true confidence comes from genuine self-acceptance and personal development. They work on becoming the kind of men who naturally feel good about themselves, rather than trying to fake confidence through body language tricks. The concept of outcome independence is crucial here. When you're attached to a specific outcome from an interaction, whether she likes you, whether you get her number, whether she responds positively, this attachment creates subtle tension that shows up in your body language. You might stand a little too rigidly, maintain eye contact a little too intensely, or position yourself a little too strategically. When you're genuinely outcome independent, your body language becomes naturally more attractive because you're not trying to force anything. You're simply enjoying the interaction for what it is, regardless of where it leads. This creates a relaxed confidence that women find incredibly appealing because it suggests that your happiness and self-worth aren't dependent on their approval. The timing of your movements and gestures also communicates volumes about your internal state. Confident men move with deliberate timing. They don't rush their gestures or hurry through their movements. When they reach for something, they do it with smooth intention. When they turn to face someone, they take the time to fully orient themselves rather than just jerking their head around. This deliberate timing suggests that you're comfortable being observed and that you don't feel the need to minimize the time you're taking up or the space you're occupying. It's a subtle but powerful way to communicate that you belong wherever you are and that you're not apologizing for your presence. Facial expressions deserve special attention because they're often the first thing people notice about you. A genuinely confident expression isn't about walking around with a constant smile or trying to look serious and mysterious. It's about having a face that's alive and present, showing genuine interest in your surroundings and the people you're interacting with. The micro-expression research shows that fake expressions are detectable within milliseconds by the unconscious mind. You can't fake genuine warmth or interest for very long. The solution is to actually become genuinely interested in the people around you and genuinely pleased to be where you are. When these feelings are authentic, your facial expressions will naturally become more attractive. The concept of social leadership ties everything together. When your body language consistently demonstrates confidence, presence, and genuine interest in others, people naturally begin to look to you for social cues. You become someone who adds value to social situations rather than taking from them. This kind of social leadership is incredibly attractive because it suggests that you're the kind of person who makes life better for the people around you. But social leadership through body language isn't about dominating or controlling social situations. It's about being a positive influence through your presence. When you walk into a room with genuine confidence, you raise the energy level for everyone. When you listen to someone with complete presence, you make them feel more interesting and valued. When you move through the world with comfortable confidence, you give others permission to do the same. The integration of all these elements, posture, eye contact, movement, breathing, facial expressions, personal space management, timing, and emotional state, creates what we might call magnetic presence. This isn't something you can fake or force. It has to be developed through genuine personal growth and self-acceptance. The men who are most successful with women understand that attractive body language is simply the external expression of internal confidence and self-acceptance. They don't try to project confidence through their posture. They develop genuine confidence, and their posture naturally reflects this internal state. They don't practice eye contact techniques. They become genuinely comfortable being seen and seeing others. This is why surface-level body language advice often fails. You can learn to stand up straight and make eye contact, but if you haven't addressed the underlying insecurities and self-doubt, the incongruence will be obvious to anyone paying attention. Real transformation requires working on both the internal and external aspects of confidence simultaneously.